Hi, I'm Desi.
And I'm Sterling.
And we put together this lesson about the inner truth of the Tao. You edited this, didn't you, Sterling?
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
And did you learn a lot about the steps of the Tao?
Yes, a lot of stuff.
Based on the work from the TV show Kung Fu, Lessons in Inner Truth. I hope you all enjoy it.
I hope you enjoy it. We begin our journey with respect for nature. If we seek to shorten the legs of a crane, we hurt the crane. If we seek to lengthen the legs of a duck, we hurt the duck. We must learn to respect nature and not try to outdo her.
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
We must learn discipline, learning to discipline the mind, discipline the body, discipline the spirit. As we learn to be in the world, not controlled by the world, we learn to respect the path of others, but to respect our path first. The art of teaching is clarity, and the art of learning is to listen. No matter how young, the seeker who sets out upon the way of the Tao shines bright over the world. The clouded mind sees nothing. We must learn to respect nature and respect our own nature. Why is the Tao so valuable? Because it is everywhere, and everyone can use it. This is why those who seek will find, and those who reform will be forgiven. Why the good will be rewarded. Accept everything just the way it is. If you see a wrong, change what you can. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Do not regret what you have done. Reduce jealousy. Never let yourself be too saddened by a separation. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. In all things have few preferences. To live right, one must never sell weapons, never sell or hold slaves, never sell drugs, never try to play God by making synthetic anything.
Time for you to leave.
Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you're already rich. As you learn to control the mind, body, and spirit, you become powerful.
It is through those roots we draw our nourishment and strength.
Do not the roots then also form the future?
Uprooted, can the tree flourish and bear fruit? Without the fruit, what may bear the seeds of future generation and thus fulfill the ordained cycle of eternity? Time and your Tao will tell you that, grasshopper.
When anger rises, think of the consequences. To know what you know and what you do not know, that is true knowledge. I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. The object of the superior man is truth. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. If you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If in terms of 10 years, plant trees. If in terms of 100 years, teach the people.
Lao Tzu is a Chinese legendary and historical figure who is considered to be the founder of Taoism. Taoism is the philosophy that teaches us how to live in harmony with the world. The word Tao itself means the way, the pattern and substance of everything that exists. Tzu is also credited as the writer of Taoism's most sacred text, Tao Te Ching. It is packed with his remarkable wisdom and messages of peace, resilience, and living cohesively that reminds us what really matters in life. He's a central figure in Chinese culture, but his words can apply to people all over the world. So here are 10 important lessons that we can learn from Lao Tzu. Number 1. Look within and you will find everything you need. Lao Tzu says, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. We live in a culture that's geared towards doing, succeeding, crushing it, making more, whether it's money or of ourselves. These actions from the Taoist perspective are considered yang and are based on outwards and external movement. The Chinese concept of yin and yang describes nature in dualities with two opposite, complementary and interdependent forces. In other words, two halves balancing together that make a whole. Yin and yang always flows and changes with time. One aspect increases as the other decreases, and this balance continues as a pattern in nature. Just like nature, human life too is all about balance, and to maintain this balance we need to spend time cultivating our yin, which is our inner experience. We need to slow down, reflect, and just enjoy being without having to do anything. Practices like meditation, qigong, and mindfulness can help us slow down, so that when we do need to act, move in the world, and create, we have a deeper and more valuable reservoir of energy and balance to draw from. Number 2. By letting go, you become free. According to Lao Tzu, by letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try and try, the world is beyond the winning. Enlightenment means to lighten the burden of life in this world and to lighten the darker aspects of human character. But how then do we lighten ourselves? How do we lighten our burdens and lighten our characters? The key is to examine our attachments, those things that we cling to in our minds so strongly that we cause pain to ourselves and others. This examination, this self-watching, can begin with understanding the 3 kinds of attachment. Attachment to recognition, attachment to security, and attachment to control. Relying on power to achieve what you want to achieve means you aren't relying on the Tao. It's important to understand that developing a stance of non-attachment is not the same as being calloused or uncaring. In fact, losing your attachments makes you freer to open up your heart even wider. It's like being able to see the world from a higher perspective. Instead of only loving those to whom you're most attached, yourself, family, your religion, your political group, and your country, your heart can grow to embrace the whole world. To be content is to be happy with what you have, and to be happy with what you have is to be rich. Number
A picture of the world we live in. Now you will tear your papers. Thus. When you are finished, you will reassemble the pieces in their proper place.
Master Khan? I have finished, Master.
So swiftly? It is correct in all respects. How did you do it, my son?
It was not difficult, Master. On the other side was a picture of a man. I put the man together, and the world was remade at the same time.
The man, the world, the wholeness of each seems related.
And all men, added together, do they not make up the world we live in?
The man who says he can and the man who says he cannot are both correct. Your life is what your thoughts make it. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. The journey with 1,000 miles begins with one step. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. You are what you think. Looking at small advantages prevents great affairs from being accomplished.
3. Let go of your labels if you truly want to know yourself. According to Lao Tzu's teachings, he who defines himself can't know who he really is. Labels are what you call yourself in your head. They're tags that you attach to yourself to describe the person you think you are. We have labels for ourselves such as a super dad, a successful businessman, a loser, a good-for-nothing, and so on. We put ourselves in boxes trying to define who we are. We do it to others and we do it to ourselves. Whether positive or negative, what we whisper to ourselves every day has a great influence on our sense of self and dictates the direction of our thoughts and actions. The problem with labelling is we only see fragments which have been defined by our own experience and perspective of the outer world. Let's say you or someone else may have given you a label you don't want anything to do with. Maybe because it reminds you of past mistakes you've made or flaws you're trying to coexist with. By not labelling yourself, you can flow freely from experience to experience, emotion to emotion, without being chained down to any one way of thinking. It's so much easier to move on from a mistake when you don't carry it along with you. Number 4. Pay no attention to evil and it will crumble away. As Lao Tzu teaches, give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. According to Taoism, we all have our personal, spiritual, planetary body, which they call Yun Sun. It takes in pre-heaven essences and processes them, pushing them into your soul, and your soul will deliver it to your physical body here, giving you your full potential for life in reality. A Taoist cultivates mainly around 2 things. One is to strengthen and repair the bridge between the Yun Sun and themselves here in the physical world. By doing so, they can live a better life and reach their full potential. The second part of Taoism cultivation is to conclude by giving back to the Yun Sun for more to come in the future. Good is anything that flows with the way of the Tao, meaning the Yun Sun's flow to your body. Anything that helps and flows with what your Yun Sun is doing or leading you towards is good. Evil is the opposite, which is anything that puts resistance to, stops, interferes with, drags or damages your flow from the Tao is considered evil. Good things help you to grow and empower you. Bad things will destroy you or break you up into pieces and push you to death. Evil or good is not always good or bad. We must see the whole situation to determine if it's good or bad. Knowing what is evil to you is important as a Taoist because you'll then understand what's not good to do for yourself and what's going to harm you in the long run. If you can live your life purely and devote your time to the betterment of yourself and the others around you, evil can't touch you. However, evil never disappears, and you can't ignore it. The best that you can do is to be stronger than the evil temptations around you, and you'll beat them.
All people are the same, only their habits differ. Learn avidly, question it repeatedly, analyze it carefully, then put what you have learned into practice intelligently. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. Act with kindness, but do not expect gratitude. Worry not that no one knows you. Seek to be worth knowing. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. The essence of knowledge is having it to use it. One joy dispels 100 cares.
I'm with you, Grasshopper. Be calm. Perhaps you would like to tell me of your dream?
There was an animal, a beast, a very strange beast.
Oh? Did he have more than one head?
No, Master.
An excess of legs?
No.
You said he was strange.
His shoulders were like mounds. His head did not rise above them. He was like an ox, yet he was not an ox.
Was he of great size?
No, Master. No higher than my chin, and most gentle. I could tell he was very young, and he was frightened of something.
And you were frightened for him?
Yes. This is not like other dreams I have had. Even now, I feel as if it was real, and I was truly there.
Perhaps you were, Grasshopper, or perhaps you will be.
But I know it was a dream.
Do you? Have I been here at your side? And am I leaving you now to drift back to sleep? Or has this, too, been a dream?
The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. Hope breeds peace. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. Virtuous people often revenge themselves for the constraints to which they submit by the boredom which they inspire. He who acts with a constant view of his own advantage will be much murmured against. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. To see what is right and not to do it is want of courage or of principle.
It was just a piece of wood. Now it will become an animal. And this will go feed the fires in the kitchen. And yet, they are the same in this, that each has been diverted from its true nature. Time is carving you, Grasshopper. Let yourself be shaped according to your true nature.
Number 5. Kindness and compassion for others will always win in the end. To quote Lao Tzu, kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. There's a beautiful metaphor for the virtue of unconditional kindness that we can learn from water. As a river flows across the land, it nurtures all living things that it comes across. All the plants and animals benefit from the water of the river. Once it's done its work, water moves on without waiting for recognition or praise. When one practices compassion, they gain great insight into themselves. The Tao Te Ching says that the sage puts others before himself, and by putting others before himself, he puts himself first. When one puts others before themselves, showing compassion to one another, what they get out of it isn't just a deep insight into the nature of suffering, but also deep insight into their own nature. The practice of compassion helps to strengthen our relationships with others. It helps deepen our connection to the world at large. It's something that seems to be a sign of weakness, but in fact is a sign of strength. Number 6. Be yourself without caring what others think. Lao Tzu says, care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Nothing can be more time and energy wasting than being overly concerned about what other people think of us. There's nothing wrong in wanting others to like us or to think well of us, but it should not be done at the expense of our integrity. We have to get on with the tasks at hand in life and make our own decisions based on our highest thoughts, not the thoughts generated through the filter of approval-seeking and people-pleasing. If we take our own decision based on our highest intuitive thoughts and certain people disapprove, we shouldn't really pay that much attention to them. Our business to get on with the business of life is guided by our own consciousness, not by the opinions of other people in our circle. When you're in accord with the Tao, you will do your own job and then stop. Leave others' opinions alone. Don't go against the current of the Tao. Instead, go with the flow of it. Accept yourself. Believe in yourself. Because if you do, you won't have to try to convince others. Be content with yourself, because if you are, you don't need others' approval. Number 7. Wisdom and strength come from remaining humble. As we learn from Lao Tzu, the wise man is one who knows what he does not know. There's a story in the Liao Tzu, a book of Taoist parables written around the same time as the Tao Ching. It's the story of a pair of twins. They look the same, talk the same, belong to the same family, but one is loved, trusted and promoted by others while the other is not. He wears nicer clothes, eats better food and lives in a nicer home. The successful twin treats the unsuccessful twin with undisguised arrogance because he falsely believes he's earned his success, saying, "Maybe there's just more in me than there is in you." They both meet Master Tung Ko, who says, "When you say that one man has more in him than another, you mean only that they're not equally gifted. What I mean is something different from this. The unsuccessful twin has more worth than luck. You have more luck than worth. Your success is not due to wisdom, nor is his failure due to foolishness. Both are from heaven and not from man, yet you are presumptuous because you have more luck, while he is ashamed though he has more worth. Neither of you perceives that things must be as they are. The truth is that the great power of Tao can only be obtained with great love and great humility. One should always be impeccably humble because it's the humility that guarantees great victories over oneself. It's the basis of the correct achievements in the transformation of the soul. You should agree with Tao completely. If you do this only partially, this will result in a dangerous breakdown because only complete humility is the cure for the disease called pride. Sadness and anger are companions of pride, whereas calm and joy are companions of impeccable humility.
See? The stone cutter chipping away at the mountain.
Is he a slave?
No, but he must work very hard all day long just to earn a few grains of rice. Now, here is the lord of the province on his horse. The stone cutter is filled with envy.
Of course, he is rich. He doesn't have to work. He has everything he wants.
Which would you rather be? The lord of the province or the stone cutter?
That's an easy riddle, Kwai Chang. I'd rather be the lord of the province. What is that?
The sun. He beats down on the lord of the province and makes him ill. With all his power, the lord of the province cannot make the sun stop shining. Do you still want to be the lord of the province?
No, I want to be the sun.
All his power. Nothing can stand against him. But wait. What is this?
The nighttime?
It is a cloud. Falls across the face of the sun and snuffs him out like a candle.
Will the sun melt the cloud?
It is too big, too full of water.
Then I will be the cloud.
Very good. Now you are the mightiest thing beneath heaven and earth. Are you content?
Yes, Kwai Chang. I am content. Thank you. What's that?
That is the mountain. It is in your way, cloud. What will you do now?
I will fly over it.
Oh, you cannot. It is too high.
then I will rain down on it and wash it away. Can you make a picture of my rain?
It is no use. You will wear yourself away to nothing.
Then the mountain is mightier than the cloud.
So it would seem.
Then I will be the mountain.
Congratulations, young wing. You again have made the wisest decision. Now, the sun cannot melt you. The rain cannot wash you away. Nothing can disturb your serenity.
I know. It's a stonecutter and his hammer.
The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. The superior man thinks before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation there is sure to be failure. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Study the past if you would define the future. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. Anyone can find the switch after the lights are on. When you see a good person, think of becoming like him or her. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. I slept and dreamt life is beauty. I woke and found life is duty. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbour's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top. Be not ashamed of mistakes, and thus make them crimes. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Be strict with yourself, but least reproachful of others, and complaint is kept afar. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find some time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance.
What besets that man?
He has been marked to wander inward, through and beyond the dark and terrifying land, where no road exists and no signpost points the way.
But why?
Who can say?
Should he not be locked in his room?
And prevented from his journey? If he can pass through the trackless land, he will find peace. His answer, his cue. As far as we are able, we must travel with him, help him along his way.
But how, when there are no roads and no signposts?
There are steps, his and ours. We take them together. This is our duty to all who are marked as he is.
I should hope then never to meet another like him.
Very often, a wanderer in the trackless land finds that which he sought and more, something of rare value for the one who shared his journey. Could you risk the loss of such a benefit?
Number 8. Change is inevitable, so embrace it, even if it seems uncomfortable. In the words of Lao Tzu, New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. We resist and often resent change, but change is key to life, because despite change being seemingly painful, it's forever necessary. Most of us tend to settle into our comfort zone. We're afraid of change or something new. We tend to get used to the rut and routine and begin to treat that as the sole option available to us. A sort of mental complacency sets in, and we don't want to alter that. Maybe because we no longer hope for better things, or maybe because we live in the belief that every ending is painful and doesn't always lead to something better. Every change is important, and every change is meaningful in and of itself. What seemed negative or painful in the beginning may turn into something new. In a new beginning, in a new way, in a new direction, a new opportunity, a new life, or even a new you. Change often paves the way for something better, and if not better, at least different. In change lies life's momentum and progress. Number 9. Learn to follow first if you ever wish to lead. According to Lao Tzu, if you want to govern the people, you must first place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. To understand this, let's look at Lao Tzu's comparison between rivers and seas and hundreds of streams. Rivers and seas are more powerful than streams. They're larger, deeper, and stronger. Without water flowing in from hundreds and thousands of streams, rivers and seas wouldn't be what they are. Rivers and seas can be powerful because they're ready to receive. Similarly, from the perspective of TAO leadership, a leader is more powerful than their people, but their power is derived from their people. They need their people to feed them, both physically and metaphorically, otherwise they only have their own resources to draw from. Just like rivers and seas, a good leader must be ready to receive. To receive water from streams, rivers and seas stoop low. To harness energy from their people, a leader positions themselves lower as well in order to receive. They pay attention and listen. A leader follows before they're followed.
Do you marvel at the carver's skill?
Yes, master. And at his meaning. Each is free to move, yet each is held captive.
Are we not also?
The temple does not hold us. We have only to open the door.
Are we then free to go anywhere we choose, even up into the heavens?
No, master. We too are captive, just as these.
Then, why do I speak to you of freedom?
It puzzles me, master.
Is your mind not free to seek its own course, to soar even to the heavens, though you turn and spin within a prison?
But I wish to be truly free.
Bind yourself to nothing. Seek harmony with all. Then you will be truly free.
Think of tomorrow. The past cannot be mended. Respect yourself, and others will respect you. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. By nature, men are nearly alike. By practice, they get to be wide apart. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal, and as though you were scared of missing it. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. Those who cannot forgive others break the bridge over which they themselves must pass. Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it. If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Virtue is not left to stand alone. He who practices it will have neighbors. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. The superior man does not, even for the space of a single meal, act contrary to virtue. In moments of haste, he cleaves to it. In seasons of danger, he cleaves to it. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Go before the people with your example, and be laborious in their affairs.
Number 10. Always go with the flow. In our final piece of wisdom from Lao Tzu, we learn, when nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Wu Wei is a Chinese concept central to Taoism, which roughly translates to the action of non-action, or action without intent. It says that rather than fighting against the conditions in our lives, we should allow things to take their natural course. While many of us wake into our day with multiple to-dos stacked on our list and a sense of urgency to get things done, it's powerful to consider that there's a natural order in everything we do. If we tune in and follow the order, things get done effectively, efficiently, and without extra effort. If we go against the order, it takes extra time and energy to get things done, and in some cases nothing will get done no matter how hard we try. Let us take writing for example. If you feel uninspired and tired, don't force yourself to write a perfect chapter. Instead, recognize the direction of nature and take care of yourself. Maybe go for a walk. Then, when you feel inspired and motivated, take advantage and write with great ferocity and determination. This is what Wu Wei means, recognizing the forces of nature and acting accordingly. Some people intuitively interpret non-doing as something passive, laid back, or lazy. In the eyes of Tao, there are often times for action, but if no action is needed based on the laws of nature, then doing anything may be overdoing it. It's all about realizing when our efforts are being useful and when they're being wasted.
The scissors cut the paper. The paper covers the rock. The rock crushes the scissors.
Is not playing a child's game a waste of time?
In games, children teach, sometimes more than books. Calm, instruct an old man and yourself.
Rock crushes scissors.
Look beyond the game as you look beneath the surface of the pool to see its depths.
Each in turn conquers the other. There is no stronger or weaker.
This is the harmony of nature and not a waste of time.
I will treasure this lesson, Master.
I have 3 treasures which I hold and keep. The first is mercy, for from mercy comes courage. The second is frugality, from which comes generosity to others. The third is humility, for from it comes leadership.
Strange treasures. How shall I hold them and keep them? In memory?
No, grasshopper, not in memory, but in your deeds.